What if you woke up tomorrow in America in the year 1900? No phone beside your bed, no running water, just the factory whistle screaming at 5 a.m. You're 12 years old, your hands are already bleeding from yesterday's work, and you've got 14 hours of textile mill ahead. Here's what life was really like in early 1900s America. Hey, quick thing before we start. If you actually listen to these regularly, hit like or subscribe. I always wonder where everyone's at, so comment your city and what time it is. Weird to think some of you are having breakfast in London while I'm recording this at night here in the States. All right, let's head back to 1900. Trust me, it's going to be quite a ride. But first, get comfortable. Seriously, adjust those pillows. Pull up that blanket. Because where we're going, you're going to want to be cozy. Your eyes snap open in the dark, not because you want them to, because the factory whistle just ripped through the Lower East Side of Manhattan like a banshee. 5 o'clock, on the dot, every damn morning. The first thing that hits you is the cold. January in New York, 1900. No central heating, no insulation, just you, your 2 younger siblings, and a paper-thin blanket on a mattress stuffed with corn husks. Yeah, corn husks. They crackle every time you move, and after a few months, they basically turn to dust. But hey, it's better than the floor. You're 12 years old. Your name is Giuseppe, but everyone at the factory calls you Joey. Your family came over from Italy 3 years ago. The American dream, right? Your little brother Marco is pressed against your back, stealing your body heat. He's 9. Too young for the factory, thank God. Your sister Anna, she's 7, curled up at your feet like a cat. The 3 of you share this mattress. Your parents sleep on another one across the room. Room. That's generous. It's more like a box, maybe 10 feet by 12 feet, one window that faces a brick wall 6 inches away. The whole family lives here, eats here, exists here. The smell hits you next. It's complicated. There's the mildew from the walls that never quite dry out, the chamber pot in the corner that won't get emptied until someone makes the trip down 4 flights of stairs to the privy in the courtyard, the smell of unwashed bodies, because bathing means hauling water up those same 4 flights, heating it on the stove if you've got coal, and even then you're basically just moving the dirt around. But mostly, it's the smell of too many people in too small a space. The Kowalskis upstairs with their 6 kids, the O'Briens next door with their 5, the Goldsteins down the hall with their 8. This building, this 5-story walk-up on Orchard Street, it's got maybe 40 families crammed into it, 200 people, 4 toilets. You sit up, careful not to wake Marco and Anna. The corn husks protest. Your mother is already up. You can hear her in the darkness. The scratch of a match. The tiny flame illuminates her face for a second before she lights the kerosene lamp. She looks older than her 32 years. This place, this life, it ages you fast. Giuseppe, she whispers in Italian. Time to get up. Your feet hit the floor and immediately you regret it. The wooden boards are ice cold. There's frost on the inside of the window. Actually inside, you can see your breath in the lamplight, not like your warm bed right now with its soft sheets and thermostat set to whatever perfect temperature you want. You pull on your work clothes, same ones as yesterday and the day before and the day before that. They get washed on Sunday if there's time, if there's soap, if there's energy left after 6 days of work. The shirt is more patches than original fabric at this point. Your mother's handiwork stitching and restitching with whatever scraps she can find. The pants are too short. You've grown 3 inches this year, but new clothes? That's not happening. Not when the whole family makes maybe $12 a week, if everyone's working, if no one's sick, if the factory doesn't cut hours. Your boots, God, your boots. They used to be your father's. The sole is separating from the leather, and you've stuffed newspaper inside to cover the holes. Your toes poke through anyway. In about an hour, when you're walking through the slush and horse manure of the streets, your feet will be soaked, and they'll stay that way for the next 14 hours. Your mother hands you breakfast, a heel of bread, hard as a brick, and a tin cup of something that might charitably be called coffee. It's mostly chicory and hot water, but it's warm, and that's what matters. You dunk the bread to soften it. Your back teeth hurt. No dentist for people like you. When teeth go bad, you live with it until you can't. Then you find someone with pliers. Papa already gone, you ask, though you know the answer. Hour ago, your mother says. Your father works at the docks, unloading ships. He leaves at 4 to be first in line for work. Some days he gets picked, some days he doesn't. When he doesn't, he comes home with empty hands and empty eyes. You gulp down the coffee water, kiss your mother's cheek. She smells like kerosene and exhaustion. Be careful, she says, like she does every morning. Like being careful is something you have any control over when you're working in a textile mill with machines that could rip your arm off if you zone out for even a second. You're at the door when Anna's voice stops you. Joey? She's awake, peering at you from the mattress. Bring home candy. You force a smile. Sure, Piccola. Candy. There hasn't been candy in months, but lies are free and sometimes they're all you have to give. The hallway is darker than your apartment. No windows here. You feel your way to the stairs by memory, your hand sliding along the greasy wall. The Goldstein baby is crying somewhere. The O'Brien patriarch is coughing that wet tubercular cough that's been getting worse for weeks. Soon he won't be coughing at all. 4 flights down. Each step creaks. Some are rotting through. Mrs. Kowalski broke her ankle on these stairs last month. She still can't work. Her oldest boy, Stefan, he's 14. He's pulling double shifts to make up the money. The front door of the tenement opens onto Orchard Street, and the cold hits you like a physical thing. It's maybe 15 degrees. Your thin jacket might as well be made of paper, but at least you're outside, away from the suffocating closeness of the building. The street is already alive. This is the Lower East Side, the most densely populated place in the world. Yeah, the world. More people per square acre than Bombay, than London, than anywhere. Horse-drawn carts clatter over the cobblestones. Vendors are setting up their pushcarts, selling everything from rotting vegetables to suspiciously fresh meat. The smell of horse manure is everywhere, frozen in some places, fresh and steaming in others. You step around a dead cat, or maybe it's a rat. Hard to tell in the pre-dawn darkness. The city doesn't clean these streets, not down here, not for people like you. Other kids are emerging from tenements, all heading the same direction. You recognize faces but don't know names. Polish kids, Jewish kids, Irish kids, Italian kids like you. All of you moving like a tide toward the factory districts. You fall into step with Tommy Flanagan from 2 buildings over. He's 13, been working at the mills for 3 years already. His left hand is missing 2 fingers, got caught in a loom last summer. The company gave him 2 days off, unpaid. Cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey, Tommy says, his breath making clouds in the air. Least we're not at the coal mines, you say. It's true. Your cousin Salvatore, he's down in Pennsylvania, working the anthracite mines. He's 11, spends 12 hours a day in the dark, picking slate from coal. His letters, when he can get someone to write them, describe a special kind of hell. At least you see sunlight. Sometimes you pass a newsboy, maybe 8 years old, already hawking papers. Spanish flu spreading in Europe. Roosevelt demands reform 2 cents. Get your papers. Spanish flu. That's all you need, as if tuberculosis, cholera, and diphtheria aren't enough. Disease spreads through the tenements like wildfire. Last summer, scarlet fever took 3 kids from your building in 1 week. The factory looms ahead, a 5-story brick monster belching black smoke into the dawn sky. The Anderson Textile Mill, your home for the next 14 hours, 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year, no vacation. vacation, no sick days, you stop working, you stop eating. Other kids are converging on the entrance, some as young as 7 or 8, though officially that's illegal now. Officially, the foremen don't check birth certificates. They check if your fingers are small enough to tie the threads, if you're short enough to crawl under the machines, if you're desperate enough to work for $3 a week. You're making $4 now, veteran wages for a 12-year-old. Your mother tells you to be proud you're contributing, you're helping the family survive. But survive for what? To wake up tomorrow and do it again? To watch your little sister's eyes go dead when she starts working next year? To end up like your father, 40 years old and looking 60, broken by labour that barely keeps you alive? The factory whistle screams again. 5:30. Time to clock in. You think about your bed right now, your actual bed, in your actual time. Warm, soft, safe, a phone beside it with an alarm you can snooze, a job that probably won't kill you, laws that say you can't work more than 40 hours without overtime. We won, eventually. Kids like Joey, like Tommy with his missing fingers, like all these small bodies filing into the factory in the freezing dawn. They fought and suffered, and some of them died, but they changed things. Child labour laws, safety regulations, the 8-hour workday. But that's all in the future. Right now, it's January 1900, and you're 12 years old, and the factory door is swallowing you whole. The foyer of the factory is slightly warmer than outside. Slightly. You can still see your breath, but at least the wind isn't cutting through your jacket anymore. The time clock stands against the wall like a judge. You get in line with the other kids, waiting your turn. The older workers are already inside. They get first punch. Adults, teenagers, anyone over 14 is considered senior staff. You watch them shuffle past, these men and women who look ancient but are probably only in their 30s. The mill ages you, strips years off your life with every breath of cotton dust, every hour hunched over machinery, every day without sunlight. Move it along, rats. That's Mr. Kowalski, the floor supervisor. No relation to your upstairs neighbours, just another Polish name in a city full of them. He's massive, 6 feet tall and built like a brick wall. The kind of man who got his job by being meaner than everyone else. His favourite thing is his stick, a 3-foot piece of oak he uses to encourage faster work. You punch your card. 5:31 a.m. 1 minute late, that's a penny off your wages. Doesn't matter that you've been standing in line. Doesn't matter that there's only one time clock for 200 workers. Late is late. The main floor of the mill hits you like walking into a wall. The noise is incredible. Hundreds of power looms running at once, all of them clattering and banging and shrieking. You'll be deaf by 40. Everyone is. Your grandfather back in Italy, he was a farmer. Lived to 70 with his hearing intact. Here? Different story. The cotton dust is already thick in the air. It's like fog, but fog that gets in your lungs and never comes out. Mill workers' cough, they call it. Everyone has it. That dry, hacking sound that follows you home, keeps you up at night, gets worse every year until it doesn't. The heat from the machines is starting to build. In an hour, it'll be sweltering in here. In summer, kids pass out from the heat. In winter, you go from freezing to broiling to freezing again when you leave. Your body never adjusts. It just endures. You make your way to your station. You're a doffer now, which is a step up from being a sweeper. Sweepers are the youngest kids, the ones who crawl under the running machines to clean out the cotton fibres. Every week someone gets their hair caught, or their hand, or worse. As a doffer, your job is to remove the full bobbins from the spinning frames and replace them with empty ones. Sounds simple. It's not. The machines don't stop. Ever. You have to dart in, grab the full bobbin, swap it for an empty one, all while the machinery is spinning at hundreds of rotations per minute. One wrong move, 1 second of distraction. You think about Tommy's missing fingers. Joey, you awake or what? That's Marie, the Irish girl who works the frame next to yours. She's 11, been here 2 years. Red hair that she keeps tied back tight ever since she saw Lucy Brennan get scalped when her braids got caught in a gear. Yeah, I'm awake, you say, taking your position. The frames stretch out in long rows, each one a monument to progress. That's what the owners call it. Progress. These machines can do the work of 100 hand spinners. They just need children to tend them. Small fingers for delicate work, short bodies that don't need to be paid adult wages. You start your routine, watch the bobbins fill with thread, wait for the exact moment, dart in, swap, dart out, repeat for 14 hours. Within minutes, you're sweating despite the cold morning. The work is constant. No sitting, no stopping. If Mr. Kowalski catches you idle, that's a crack with his stick. Or worse, you're fired. And there's a line of kids outside waiting to take your place. The cotton fibers float through the air like snow. Pretty if it wasn't killing you. You tie your handkerchief over your nose and mouth, but it doesn't help much. By the end of the day, when you blow your nose, it'll be black. Around you, the mill is a symphony of misery. Kids coughing, machines screaming, supervisors shouting, and underneath it all, the constant clack, clack, clack of the looms, like a giant clock counting down the hours of your childhood. This isn't like your job. Your job probably has breaks, labour laws, someone making sure you don't die on the clock. Here, you're not a person. You're a part of the machine, a replaceable part. Heads up. You look over to see little Michael O'Malley struggling with a full bobbin. He's 8, shouldn't even be here, but his father died in a construction accident last month and his mother needs the money. The bobbin is almost as big as he is. You want to help him, but you can't leave your station. That's another penny gone, another step closer to your family not eating. So you watch as he wrestles with it, his small arms shaking with the effort. This is childhood in 1900. Not school, not playing, not growing up safe and loved. This. But you know what? These kids like Joey and Marie and little Michael, they're tougher than anyone gives them credit for. They're surviving something that would break most people. And some of them, not many, but some, they're going to grow up and change things. In 20 years, some of these mill children will be union organisers. In 30 years, they'll be pushing through Congress the laws that end child labour. In 40 years, they'll be making sure their own children never see the inside of a factory. But that's the future. Right now, it's 6 a.m. in a textile mill in New York City, and you're 12 years old, and you've got 13 and a half more hours to go. 6:30 now. The mill's fully alive, every machine running, every worker at their station. The cotton dust is already thick enough that you can barely see the far wall. Your throat's starting to scratch. That familiar burn. Marie leans over between bobbin changes. You hear about the Murkowski girl? You shake your head, hands still working. Always working. Caught her hair yesterday. Second shift. Marie's voice is flat, matter of fact. Pulled half her scalp off before someone hit the emergency stop. The emergency stop, right. The one that takes 4 men and a crowbar to actually engage. The one that costs the company $5 in lost production every minute it's down. The one they only use if someone's actually dying, and sometimes not even then. She alive, you ask? Yeah, but she ain't coming back. No workers' compensation in 1900. You get hurt, you're done. Your family better hope someone else can work, or it's the poorhouse. Or worse, 7 o'clock. Your fingers are already raw from the cotton fibers. They're like tiny needles working their way under your fingernails into every cut and scrape. By the end of the day, your hands will be bleeding. They always are. Little Michael O'Malley is struggling again. The kid's too small for this job, even by child labour standards. You watch him trying to reach a high bobbin, standing on his tiptoes, wobbling. Then it happens, his sleeve catches. Michael, but your shout is swallowed by the machine noise. The spinning frame starts pulling him in. His eyes go wide, pure terror. Without thinking, you abandon your station and dive for him. You grab his other arm and pull hard as you can. The machine's stronger, but you've got desperation on your side. The sleeve tears. Michael falls backward, lands on you. You both hit the floor hard. He's crying, but he's got all his parts. That's what counts. What the hell is this? Mr. Kowalski towers over you both, his stick raised. His sleeve got caught, sir. The stick comes down on your shoulder. Pain explodes down your arm. You left your station. That's 2 pennies. And you, he points the stick at Michael. Stop crying or you're out. Michael chokes back his sobs. He's 8 years old. This is what progress looks like in 1900. This is what's building America into an industrial powerhouse. The tears of 8-year-olds, the blood of 12-year-olds, the broken bodies of anyone too poor to be anywhere else. 7:30, your shoulders throbbing, but you keep working. You can't afford to slow down. The bobbins don't care if you're hurt. New girl starts today. Can't be more than 7. She's with the sweepers, crawling under the machines with a brush and pan. Her mother's working 3 rows over, keeping one eye on her daughter while trying to maintain her own quota. The girl's name is Sophia. Greek family just off the boat. She doesn't speak English yet, but she doesn't need to. The machines speak a universal language: work or starve. You watch her crawl under a running loom, inches from mechanisms that could crush her skull like an egg. Her mother's hands are shaking as she works. First day is always the hardest. After that, you just go numb. 8 o'clock, 2.5 hours in, 11.5 to go. Your back is screaming. The human body isn't meant to stand in one position for 14 hours, making the same repetitive motions. You're 12. Your spine is still growing. In 10 years, you'll be permanently hunched like half the adult workers here. But hey, at least you're not at your desk job right now, complaining about your ergonomic chair not being quite right. Joey, Marie hisses. Kowalski's coming. You speed up your movements. Look busy. Always look busy. Even when there's nothing to do, find something. Idle hands don't just do the devil's work here. They get you fired. Kowalski stalks past, his stick tapping against his palm. He stops at Sophia's mother, watches her for a moment, then moves on. She exhales. We all do. 8:30. Someone's throwing up. You can hear it over the machines, which means it's bad. Probably heat exhaustion, even though it's January. The mills are like ovens. All that machinery generating heat, nowhere for it to go. It's a Polish boy, maybe 10. He's on his hands and knees, heaving. The cotton dust makes everyone sick eventually, but some faster than others. Get him out, Kowalski shouts, and dock his pay for the clean-up. 2 older workers drag the boy toward the door. He won't be back. Can't show weakness here. There's 100 kids outside who won't throw up on the floor. 9 o'clock. Break time, someone shouts. Break time. That's funny. You get 15 minutes to use the bathroom, get water, and eat if you brought anything. 15 minutes for 200 workers and 4 toilets. The rush for the privies is insane. Kids are literally fighting to get in line. You've learned to hold it. Better to wait for the afternoon break than waste your entire 15 minutes in line. Instead, you head for the water barrel. It's lukewarm and tastes like metal, but your throat is coated with cotton dust and you need it. You gulp it down, knowing you'll pay for it later when you need to pee and can't leave your station. Marie's beside you, unwrapping a small bundle, half a potato and a slice of bread that's more mould than wheat. Want some? She offers. You shake your head. You're hungry, but not that hungry. Yet. She shrugs and eats it anyway. When you're poor, you don't waste food. Even mouldy food. Your stomach's already destroyed from all the crap you've eaten over the years. What's a little more damage? You hear Roosevelt might run for president, she says between bites. Yeah? Says he'll bust up the trusts, make things better for workers. You want to laugh, but it would hurt your throat. Politicians have been promising to make things better since before you were born. Yet here you are, 12 years old, working in a textile mill for pennies while men in New York mansions light cigars with dollar bills. Maybe, you say, because what else can you say? Hope is all some of us have. 9:15, back to work. The frames seem louder after the break, or maybe it's just that you got used to the relative quiet for 15 minutes. Your ears are ringing. They always are these days. Sometimes at night, lying on your corn husk mattress, the ringing is all you can hear. New problem. One of your bobbins is jamming. The thread keeps breaking. If you can't fix it, production slows. If production slows, Kowalski comes over. If Kowalski comes over, you try to retie the thread, but your fingers are shaking. Exhaustion, hunger, fear, all of it making your hands unsteady. Here, it's Stefan, the Kowalski boy from your building, not the supervisor, the other one. He's 14, been working here since he was 8. His fingers move like lightning, fixing the thread in seconds. "Thanks," you whisper. He nods and moves back to his station. Small kindnesses, that's how you survive here. Looking out for each other when the bosses aren't watching. 9:45. Something's happening at the far end of the floor. Commotion, shouting, then the sound everyone dreads. A scream cut short. The machines don't stop. They never stop. But everyone's looking now, trying to see what happened. Word travels fast in the mill, whispered from station to station like a telegram. Brennan's boy, hand caught in the gears. Brennan's boy, Timothy. He's 10, was 10. You can see them carrying something out, something covered in a bloody sheet, something too small to be a whole person. Everyone goes back to work. What else can you do? Stop and mourn? That's a penny off your wages. Get angry? That's your job gone. So you work, and you try not to think about Timothy Brennan, who was 10 years old and had a little sister named Ruth, who's probably going to have to take his place here next week because the family needs the money. This is America in 1900, the land of opportunity, the golden door, the place where streets are paved with gold. Yeah. Gold mixed with the blood of 10-year-olds. 10 o'clock, 4.5 hours down. Your hands are bleeding now, right on schedule. The cotton fibers have worked their way through your calluses. You wipe the blood on your pants and keep going. Sophia, the new Greek girl, is crying under the machines. Silent tears because noise gets you fired. Her hands are black with machine oil and cotton dust. She doesn't understand why she can't go home. Doesn't understand that this is home now. 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. Her mother can't go to her, can't comfort her, can't do anything but watch and work and pray her daughter survives long enough to get used to it. You remember your first day. You cried too. Everyone does. Then you learn that tears don't change anything. They just make it harder to see the machines that are trying to kill you. "Hey kid," you call out to Sophia next time she crawls past. You say it's soft, so Kowalski won't hear. She looks up at you with huge brown eyes. You don't share a language, but you pull out the piece of hard candy you've been saving for 3 weeks, the one you were going to give to Anna. You toss it to her. She catches it, confused. You mime putting it in your mouth. She understands, pops it in. Her eyes go wide. Sugar. Probably the first sweet thing she's had in months. It's nothing. A piece of candy. But for a second, she almost smiles. Marie sees what you did. That was for your sister. Yeah. You're an idiot, Joey. Yeah, but we both know I did the right thing, because if we don't help each other, if we don't hold on to some scrap of humanity in this hellhole, then we might as well be machines ourselves. 10:30. The morning shift supervisor comes through, Mr. Harrison. He's worse than Kowalski because he's smart. Kowalski just beats you. Harrison finds ways to make you beat yourself. He stops at each station, checking production. If you're behind quota, that's a fine. If you're too far ahead, he raises your quota. You can't win. That's the point. He gets to my station, looks at my numbers. You're down from yesterday, Giuseppe. He uses my real name. He knows I hate it. Knows it marks me as different, foreign, other. Had to fix a jammed bobbin, sir. Excuses don't make textiles, boy. He marks something in his ledger. That's another penny gone, maybe two. At this rate, I'll owe the company money by the end of the week. That's not a joke. Some weeks, after all the fines and deductions, workers end up in debt to the mill. Company store prices, company housing rent, it all adds up. They own you more completely than slavery ever did. At least, slaves knew what they were. The machines roar on, always hungry, always feeding on cotton and childhood in equal measure. You look around at all these kids, Polish kids, Irish kids, Italian kids, Jewish kids, Greek kids, all of us different, all of us exactly the same, all of us feeding ourselves to the machines one day at a time, in your real bed, in your real time. You're probably worried about your alarm clock, about being 5 minutes late to a job that won't kill you, about whether to have coffee or tea. These kids don't get those choices. They get up, they work, they survive, or they don't. That's it. That's the whole menu. But here's the thing about these kids, these tiny warriors of the Industrial Revolution. They're going to win. Not today, not tomorrow, not for years, but eventually. Some of them will grow up to be union organizers. Some will become teachers and teach their children to fight. Some will become writers and tell these stories. And some, like Timothy Brennan, who lost his hand this morning, will become statistics that finally shock the world into changing. The Factory Acts, the Fair Labour Standards Act, OSHA, all of it paid for in blood and childhood and 14-hour days. But that's the future. Right now, it's 10:45 on a Tuesday morning in January 1900, and you're 12 years old, and your hands are bleeding, and you've got 9 more hours to go. 11 o'clock, the sun's high enough now that a few rays actually make it through the grimy windows. Shafts of light full of cotton dust, like snow that never settles. Pretty if it wasn't destroying your lungs one breath at a time. The heat's building bad now. January outside, but in here it's got to be pushing 80 degrees. The machines generate heat like furnaces. Add 200 bodies working non-stop, and you've got your own little slice of hell. Stefan passes by with a cart of empty bobbins. He's limping. "What happened?" you mouth at him. He shakes his head. Don't ask. But you can see the blood seeping through his boot. Probably dropped something on his foot. Probably broken a toe or two. Probably going to work through it anyway, because what choice does he have? This is the thing nobody talks about. Not just the big accidents, the ones where kids lose hands or worse. It's the constant small injuries, the cuts that never heal because they get reopened every day, the bruises that turn black and green and yellow, the sprains and breaks that you just work through because missing a day means your family doesn't eat. Your body at 12 years old is already a map of industrial America. Scars on your hands from the cotton fibres, burn on your forearm from when you got too close to a steam pipe, that weird bend in your left pinky from when it got caught in a bobbin and you just yanked it free because stopping to do it properly would have gotten you fired. Marie's singing something under her breath, can barely hear it over the machines, but it's there. Some Irish song her grandmother taught her. She does this when she's trying not to think about things, like how her older brother Patrick just got drafted to go fight in the Philippines. Like how her mother's coughing up blood but won't admit it. Shut it, Mick. That's Anthony Torino working the frame behind us. He's 15, thinks he's tough because he's been here 4 years and still has all his fingers. Marie flips him off when Kowalski's not looking. Shut it yourself, Dago. They hate each other, but it's the kind of hate that's really just fear wearing a disguise. We're all scared of the machines, of the bosses, of ending up like Timothy Brennan this morning. So we take it out on each other, Irish versus Italian, Polish versus Jewish. Like fighting among ourselves will somehow make us feel like we have some control. We don't. 11:15. Your bladder's screaming now. That water you gulped at break was a mistake, but leaving your station means losing money, and you're already down, what, 4 pennies? 5? Lost count. So you hold it, and you think about your bathroom at home, at your real home, in your real time. Probably got 2 bathrooms, maybe 3. Clean. Private. A door that locks. Toilet paper that isn't yesterday's newspaper. Here, 4 privies for 200 workers. No doors, no privacy. And the smell. Jesus, the smell could knock a horse down. Joey, it's Sophia, the little Greek girl. She's learned my name already. She's standing there with her dustpan, and it's full of something red. Blood, mixed with cotton fibers. A lot of it. She's looking at me like I should know what to do with this. Like I'm the adult here. But I'm 12. I'm just a kid too. We're all just kids. Pour it out back, I tell her, miming the motion. With the other waist. She nods and scurries off. Another accident somewhere. Another kid hurt. Another family destroyed. Just Tuesday in the mill. 11:30. The woman working 3 rows over starts screaming. Not pain screaming, grief screaming, the kind that comes from somewhere deeper than your throat. It's Sophia's mother. Sophia hasn't come back. The woman's trying to leave her station, but Harrison's there, blocking her. You leave? You're fired, he says, calm as discussing the weather. She's screaming in Greek, tears streaming down her face, but she goes back to her machine, because what else can she do? She's got other kids at home. They need to eat. We all keep working. The machines don't care about missing 7-year-olds. The quotas don't care. America's industrial might doesn't care. 10 minutes later, Sophia comes back. She got lost trying to find the waste area. Just lost, but for 10 minutes, her mother thought she was dead. The woman doesn't even look at her daughter. Can't, because if she stops working to hug her child, they both go hungry. This is family life in industrial America. Parents and children in the same building, sometimes the same room, but might as well be on different planets. The machines come first. Always. Noon. The whistle blows for lunch. Lunch. That's generous. You get 20 minutes this time. 20 minutes to fight for the privies, find something to eat, maybe rest your legs for 30 seconds. You finally get to pee. Sweet relief. The privy's disgusting, but you're past caring. There's worse things than shit and piss, like the feeling in your hands, which have gone from pain to numbness. That's not good. Numbness means nerve damage, means you're losing feeling, means you might not notice the next time you're too close to the gears. Outside the mill for the first time since dawn, the cold air hits like a slap, but it's clean, no cotton dust. You can actually breathe. Groups of kids sit on the frozen ground, eating whatever they brought. Some have nothing. They just sit there, watching others eat. Pride keeps them from begging, but you can see the hunger in their eyes. You've got half a piece of bread your mother gave you. Was supposed to last all day, but your stomach's eating itself. You tear off a small piece, make yourself chew slowly. Make it last. Tommy Flanagan plops down next to you. His mangled hand is wrapped in a dirty rag. Heard about Brennan's boy, he says. Yeah. Hand got pulled right into the gears, took it clean off at the elbow. Jesus. His old man came by, started screaming at Harrison. They had to drag him out. He gonna sue? Tommy laughs, but it's not funny. Sue with what lawyer? With what money besides? Kid shouldn't have had his hand there. That's what they'll say. Worker negligence. Worker negligence. A 10-year-old boy loses his arm and it's his fault for not being careful enough around machines that could kill a grown man. You hear about the strike talk? Tommy lowers his voice. What strike talk? Some of the adults talking about walking out, demanding shorter hours, safety equipment. They're dreaming. Maybe, but that place in Chicago, Pullman, workers there actually did it, shut the whole operation down. And Army came in, broke it up, bunch of people died. Of course they did. That's how it always ends. Workers demand to be treated like humans and the government sends in troops to remind them they're not. But still, the idea of it, of everyone just stopping, of saying no more, of making the machines go silent, it's a dangerous thought, the kind that gets people blacklisted, or worse. 12:15, back inside. The afternoon shift is always worse. You're tired, hungry, and the heat just keeps building. By 2 o'clock, it'll be over 90 degrees in here. Kids will start passing out. Happens every day in summer, even in winter if the machines run hot enough. You take your position. Marie's already there, working. But something's different. Her hands are shaking. You okay? She doesn't answer. Then you see it. Blood on her skirt. A lot of it. Marie, you hurt? She shakes her head, won't look at me, and then you understand. She's 13, she's becoming a woman, and she can't leave her station to deal with it. This is what it means to be a girl in the mills. No privacy, no dignity, no acknowledgement that your body has needs beyond being a pair of hands to work the machines. You want to help, but what can you do? You're a 12-year-old boy. You don't even fully understand what's happening to her, and even if you did, there's nothing to be done. She'll stand there and bleed through her clothes and keep working because that's what you do. That's what we all do. 12:30. New crisis. One of the main drive belts upstairs snaps. The whole building shakes when it happens. Sounds like thunder. For a second, just a second, some of the machines stop. The silence is deafening. You hadn't realized how loud it was until it wasn't. Your ears ring in the quiet. Then Kowalski's voice. Back to work, mechanics will fix it. But for that moment, that brief moment of silence, you remembered what the world sounds like without machines. Birds, maybe. Wind. Human voices at normal volume. You'd almost forgotten. The mechanics rush upstairs. These are the skilled workers, the ones who actually make decent money. They know how the machines work, how to fix them, how to keep them running. They're like priests in the church of industry. The rest of us are just sacrifices. 1 o'clock? You've been here 7.5 hours? 6.5 to go? Your feet have gone past hurting to that weird place where they're both numb and on fire at the same time. You shift your weight from foot to foot, but it doesn't help. Nothing helps except getting off them, and that's not happening for another 6 hours. A new kid starts this afternoon. They always start kids in the afternoon when they're desperate for workers. This one's maybe 9, skinny as a rail, polish from the look of him. His mother's with him, talking rapid fire to Kowalski in broken English. He's a good boy, strong, he work hard. Kowalski's not even listening. He's looking at the kid's hands. Small, nimble, perfect for the machines. $3 a week, take it or leave it. The mother nods frantically. Yes, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, for the privilege of feeding her son to the machines, for the opportunity to watch him age 5 years in 5 months, for the chance to maybe, possibly, keep her family from starving. The kid's name is Stanislaw. Stan. He's assigned to the sweepers. Within an hour, he'll be under the machines, crawling through cotton dust and oil, trying not to get his hair caught, trying not to die. Welcome to America, Stan, land of the free, home of the brave, where 9-year-olds work 14-hour days so that rich women in Boston can have cheap cloth for their dresses. You watch him disappear under a loom and try to remember what it felt like to be new here. to still have hope that it would get better, that if you worked hard enough, you could work your way up, maybe become a mechanic, maybe even a supervisor. But then you look at the adult workers, the ones who've been here 20 years, bent backs, ruined lungs, missing fingers, still making barely more than you, still one accident away from disaster. There's no working your way up, there's just working until you can't anymore. 1:15. Something's happening at the loading dock. Commotion, shouting, not the usual kind. Word spreads like wildfire. Roosevelt's here. Theodore Roosevelt, the governor of New York, here at the mill. Everyone's trying to look without looking like they're looking. Even Kowalski seems nervous. Harrison's practically vibrating. Then he walks in, Roosevelt, shorter than you expected, but with this energy that fills the room. He's got a whole group with him. Men in suits with notebooks. A woman with one of those new camera things. They're here about Timothy Brennan, the boy who lost his arm. Someone, somehow, got word to the governor's office. Roosevelt walks right up to one of the machines, looks at it, looks at the kids working it. His face is like stone. "How old are you, son?" he asks Marie. 13, sir. "And how long do you work each day?" 14 hours, sir. He writes something in a notebook, moves to the next kid, and the next, asking questions, taking notes. The photographer's camera keeps flashing. He gets to you. "What's your name?" "Joey, sir. Giuseppe." "Italian?" "Yes, sir." "How old?" 12, sir." He looks at your hands, at the blood and scars. "From the work?" "Yes, sir." His jaw tightens. He writes more notes. Harrison's trying to intervene, talking about progress and necessity and the American economy. Roosevelt just keeps walking, keeps asking questions, keeps writing. He stops at little Stan, the new boy, who's just crawled out from under a machine. This boy can't be more than 9. "He's small for his age," Harrison says quickly. "I wasn't talking to you." The room goes quiet. Even the machines seem to hum softer. Roosevelt kneels down, eye level with Stan. "How old are you, really?" Stan looks at his mother, terrified. She nods. 9, sir." Roosevelt stands, turns to Harrison. "This ends. Sir, you have to understand. These people need the work. Children. These are children. The families depend. Then pay the adults enough that they don't need to send their babies to work." He's angry now, really angry. You can see it in how he holds himself, controlled but barely. "Change is coming," he says to the room, "to all of us. I promise you that." Then he's gone, just like that. Whirlwind in and out. For a minute after he leaves, nobody moves. Then Kowalski's stick comes down on a workbench. Back to work, shows over quotas don't fill themselves. And we do. We go back to work, because Roosevelt's gone, but we're still here, still poor, still hungry, still needing these jobs. But something's different. You can feel it, like the air before a storm. "Change is coming," he said. "Maybe, maybe not. Either way, you've still got 5.5 hours left on your shift." 1:30. Roosevelt's been gone 15 minutes and it's like he was never here. The machines don't care about governors. The cotton doesn't care about promises. And Harrison, he's walking the floor with a vengeance now, making up for looking weak in front of the big man. "You think that changes anything?" he says to no one in particular, to all of us. "You think some politician's going to shut us down? This mill employs 800 people, 800 families eating because these machines run." He stops at my station, looks right at me. "You want to go back to Italy, Giuseppe? Back to starving in Sicily?" I keep my eyes on my work. Don't answer. There's no right answer. That's what I thought. He moves on, but his point is made. We're trapped. All of us. The mill knows it. Harrison knows it. Hell, even Roosevelt probably knows it. You can't just shut down child labor without shutting down half the families in New York. 2 o'clock. The heat's unbearable now. January outside, but in here it's like August in hell. Sweat's pouring off everyone. The younger kids are swaying on their feet. Then it happens. Little Stan, the new boy, he just drops. 1 second he's sweeping under a machine. Next second he's face down on the floor. His mother screams, tries to run to him. "Stay at your station," Kowalski shouts, but she doesn't. She runs to her boy, pulls him out from under the machine. He's breathing, but his lips are blue. Heat exhaustion, maybe worse. "Get him water," someone says. "Get him outside," says another. But his mother just holds him, rocking back and forth, saying something in Polish over and over. A prayer, maybe, or a curse. Hard to tell the difference sometimes. Harrison appears. "You left your station." The woman looks up at him. There's something in her eyes I've never seen before. Not fear. Not anger. Something else. Something empty. "Fire me," she says in English. Clear as day. "Fire me." And he does. Right there. Her and the boy both. Out. She carries Stan toward the door. He's conscious now, sort of. Mumbling. She doesn't look back. That's 2 workers gone. 2 quotas that need filling. The machine's slow for nobody. You, Harrison points at a kid from the spinning frames. You're on sweeping now. Just like that. Someone else's tragedy becomes someone else's opportunity. That's how it works. Musical chairs, except when the music stops, someone loses a finger. Or worse. 2:15. My hands have stopped bleeding. That's not good news. Means the nerve endings are so damaged they're not even responding anymore. I flex my fingers, try to get some feeling back. Nothing. Marie's having a bad time. The blood's showing through her skirt now. Some of the boys are noticing, making comments. "Shut your mouth, Anthony," I tell him. "What are you? Her boyfriend?" I'm someone who's not a complete arse. He steps toward me, fists up. He's 15, 3 years older, 30 pounds heavier. "Boys," Kowalski's stick comes down between us. "Fight on your own time. Company time is for work." Anthony backs off, but he gives me a look. This isn't over. Great, like I needed another problem. 2:30. The girl at the end of our row starts laughing, not regular laughing, the kind that means something's broken inside. Her name's Catherine, been here 4 years. She's 14 now, but looks 40. The mill does that, ages you in dog years. She's just standing there, laughing at her machine, laughing at the cotton, laughing at nothing. "Catherine," Marie tries. "Catherine, stop." But she doesn't. She laughs harder, tears streaming down her face. Kowalski starts toward her, but one of the older women gets there first, puts an arm around Catherine, whispers something. The laughing turns to sobbing, quieter, less likely to get her fired. "Her brother died yesterday," the woman explains to Kowalski. "Consumption." Kowalski actually pauses. For 1 second, he's almost human. 5 minutes, he says, then back to work. 5 minutes to grieve your brother, then back to feeding the machines. That's mercy in the mill. 2:45. The accident whistle. That's 3 today. Average is 2. 3 means someone's dead or close to it. The machines don't stop. We've learned to work while listening for details. Whispers passed from station to station. 3rd floor. Spinning room. New girl. How bad? Bad. Always bad. Nobody blows the accident whistle for a cut finger. You think about your job, your real job. In your time, they probably have meetings about workplace safety, committees, regulations, someone whose whole job is making sure nobody gets hurt. Here, the accident whistle is the safety system. Lets everyone know to work harder so they're not next. 3 o'clock, 9 hours down, 5 to go. Your feet don't even feel like feet anymore. They're just pain stumps you're balancing on. Your back is screaming. Your hands are numb. Your throat is raw from the cotton dust. This is the wall. Every day around 3, you hit it. The wall where your body says no more. Where every instinct screams to just sit down, just for a minute, just rest. But you can't. You know what happens to kids who sit down. They don't get back up. Not as workers anyway. So you push through. You find that place inside where you go when things get bad, that nothing place, where you're not really here, where you're just hands doing work. No thoughts, no feelings, just motion. It's how you survive, how we all survive, by not being completely here. 3:15. Marie collapses. Not completely. She catches herself on the machine, but her legs gave out for a second. She's pale as paper. "I'm okay," she says before anyone can react. "I'm okay." But she's not. She's lost too much blood. Hasn't eaten, been standing for 9 hours straight. I make a decision, probably stupid, definitely going to cost me. "I need the privy," I announce. Kowalski looks at me. "You went at lunch. Emergency." He marks it in his book. That's another penny, maybe 2. But I don't go to the privy. I go to the break room where they keep the medical supplies. Medical supplies. That's funny. It's a box with some rags and a bottle of something that might be alcohol. I grab some clean rags, stuff them in my shirt. There's also a piece of bread someone left. I take that too. Theft. That's firing a fence. But Marie needs help. Back on the floor, I pass her the rags when Kowalski's not looking. "From your boyfriend?" Anthony sneers. "From someone who's not garbage," Marie shoots back. She takes the rags, disappears for 30 seconds behind the machines, comes back looking a little better. The bread I slip to her piece by piece over the next hour. She eats it without looking at me, without saying thanks. Because thanks are dangerous. They mean you owe someone, and owing people gets complicated. 3:45. The mechanics are still working on that broken belt upstairs. Every once in a while, the building shudders, metal on metal, the sound of America being built, or the sound of kids being ground up. Depends on how you look at it. Stefan limps by again. His foot's worse. The blood soaked through his boot now. "You need to get that looked at," I tell him. "By who? With what money?" He's right. Doctors are for people who can afford them. For us, you either heal or you don't. "My ma knows some things," I offer. "Herbs and stuff, from the old country." "Yeah? Come by tonight, after shift." He nods. "It's not much, but it's something. My mother does know herbs. Learned from her mother back in Italy. Won't fix a broken foot, but might keep it from going bad. From turning into the kind of infection that kills you in a week. 4 o'clock, 10 hours. The lights changing outside, getting that late afternoon slant. In an hour it'll be dark. We came in darkness. We'll leave in darkness, like vampires, except we're the ones getting our blood sucked. New problem. One of the main machines is making a weird noise. Grinding metal on metal where metal shouldn't be touching metal. Everyone hears it. Everyone knows what it means. That machine's going to break, and when it does, it's going to break bad. But nobody says anything, because stopping the machine means stopping production, and stopping production means Harrison asking why, and explaining means admitting you knew it was going to break but didn't say anything earlier. So we all just work around it, stay as far away as possible, wait for the inevitable. 4:15. It happens. The machine doesn't just break, it explodes. Well, not explodes like dynamite, but a gear shoots off, flies across the room, and embeds itself in the wall 6 inches from where a kid was standing. The machine grinds to a halt, steam hissing, oil spraying. It's like watching a metal dragon die. Harrison's there in seconds. Who was working this station? Nobody answers. Who was working this station? A boy raises his hand. Timothy. No, different Timothy, not the one who lost his arm. This one's maybe 11, Irish, quiet kid. You didn't notice anything wrong? No, sir. Nothing? This machine just spontaneously destroyed itself? I don't know, sir. Harrison's face is purple. This is going to cost the company hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands. Someone has to pay. You're done. Get out. Sir, please, I need out. Timothy goes. Another kid without a job, another family that won't eat tonight. The rest of us keep working. The broken machine sits there like a corpse, oil pooling around it like blood. A reminder of what happens when things go wrong, even when it's not your fault, especially when it's not your fault. Not 4:30. Marie's looking better. The bread helped, the clean rags helped, but mostly what helped was someone giving a damn. Sometimes that's all you need. Someone to see you're drowning and throw you something, anything to hold on to. Thanks, she whispers when Kowalski's across the room. Don't know what you're talking about. She almost smiles. First time I've seen her almost smile in weeks. Your sister's lucky, she says. Why? Having you for a brother. I think about Anna, 7 years old, probably at home right now, helping Ma with something. In a year, maybe 2, she'll be here, standing where Marie's standing, bleeding where Marie's bleeding, unless something changes, unless Roosevelt meant what he said, unless hell freezes over. 4:45. The afternoon shift kids are starting to show up. Fresh faces, fresh energy. They'll work until midnight, then drag themselves home to sleep a few hours before doing it again. Some of them are tiny, 6, 7 years old, officially illegal, but who's checking, who's enforcing? The factory inspectors come maybe once a year, and Harrison always knows in advance, hides the youngest kids that day, gives everyone an extra 5-minute break. Makes it look almost humane. One of the new kids is crying. His mother's trying to explain something to Kowalski, but her English is basically non-existent. Russian, maybe. Or Ukrainian. The kid doesn't want to go. He's clinging to his mother's skirt. She pries his fingers off, pushes him toward Kowalski, walks away without looking back. The kid stands there sobbing. 6 years old, maybe 7, first day. I remember my first day, the terror of it, the noise that made you want to cover your ears, the smell that made you gag, the adults who looked at you like you were just another piece of equipment. Hey, I call to the kid. He looks at me, snot running down his face. I pull out my handkerchief, the one I use to cover my face from the cotton dust, toss it to him. He catches it, confused. For your nose, I mime wiping. He does, looks a little less pathetic. It's nothing, a dirty handkerchief, but when you're 6 and your mother just left you in hell, nothing can be something. 5 o'clock, 11 hours down, 3 to go. The sun's setting outside. You can tell because the little bit of light that makes it through the windows is going orange. Pretty, if you could see it. If you weren't trapped in here with the noise and the dust and the smell of machine oil and desperation. Your whole body is shutting down now. You're making mistakes, dropping bobbins, missing changes. Everyone is. This is when accidents happen, when you're too tired to be careful, when your reflexes are too slow, when the machines win. Stay sharp, Marie says to me, to herself, to anyone listening. Stay sharp, like that's a choice, like we can just decide not to be exhausted, but we try. We pinch ourselves, splash water on our faces when Kowalski's not looking, sing songs in our heads. Anything to make it to 7 o'clock, 5:15? The machines sound different now, or maybe it's just your ears giving up after 11 hours of constant noise. Everything sounds like it's underwater, muffled, far away. Anthony's been glaring at me since the almost fight. He's waiting, biding his time, after shift probably, when Kowalski can't stop it, when it's just kids being kids, not workers disrupting production. Fine, let him come. I'm too tired to be scared. The new Russian kid has stopped crying at least. Someone put him with the sweepers. He's under the machines now, probably wondering what he did to deserve this, what any of us did. Joey, Stefan's beside me, his face grey. The foot's bad, really bad now. Can't make it to your place tonight, he says, can barely walk. I'll bring my ma to you. She won't come to our building. Nobody goes there after dark. He's right. His building is in 5 Points, even worse than ours. The kind of place where people disappear and nobody asks questions. Then what? He shrugs. That's it. That's his plan. Shrug and hope his foot doesn't rot off. This is healthcare in 1900. This is what happens when you're too poor to matter. 5:30, Harrison's making rounds again, checking quotas. He stops at each station, making notes. Some kids speed up when they see him coming, trying to look productive, trying to avoid the fine. But speeding up when you're this tired is dangerous. A Polish girl 3 rows over learns this the hard way. She's trying to change bobbins fast, show Harrison she's working hard. Her sleeve catches. The scream starts high and sharp, then cuts off as the machine pulls her in. Everything stops. Even the machines. Someone actually hits the emergency stop, the real one. She's trapped, her arm twisted at an angle arms don't bend. She's conscious, which is worse. Conscious means she feels everything. 2 mechanics rush over with tools. They have to partially dismantle the machine to get her out. Takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes of her whimpering, trying not to scream, trying to be brave. When they finally free her, her arm is mangled, bone showing through skin, blood everywhere. Her mother works here too. She runs over, holds her daughter, says something in Polish that sounds like a prayer and a curse mixed together. Harrison's there with his ledger. She's done here, he says, like he's talking about a broken machine part. Clear her out. She needs a doctor, her mother cries. Then take her to one. With what money? Harrison doesn't answer, doesn't need to. We all know the answer. There is no money, there is no doctor. There's just a 13-year-old girl with a destroyed arm and a mother who can't afford to fix it. They carry her out. She's quiet now. Shock, probably. Or just accepting what we all learn eventually. Nobody's coming to save you. The machines start up again. Always the machines. Marie's shaking. That could have been me. Could have been any of us. But it wasn't. Today. She's right. Today it wasn't us. Tomorrow, next week, eventually the machines get everyone. 5:45. The blood's still on the floor where the Polish girl was hurt. Nobody's cleaned it up. We just work around it, step over it, pretend it's not there. But it is there. Dark and sticky and real. Evidence that this place eats children. The new Russian kid sees it and starts crying again. Can't blame him. His first day and he's seen 2 kids mangled. Welcome to America, kid. Land of opportunity. Someone should write about this, Marie says suddenly. Write about what? This. Us. What happens here? Who'd read it? I don't know. People. Regular people. The ones buying the cloth we make. I want to laugh. Regular people don't care where their cloth comes from. They care that it's cheap. Our blood makes it cheap. Maybe that Roosevelt guy, she continues, maybe he'd read it. He was just here. He saw it himself. But he can't be everywhere. Can't see every mill, every factory. She's got that look. The dangerous one. The one that means she's thinking thoughts that could get her fired. Or worse. 6 o'clock. 1 more hour. Your body's not even pretending to work right anymore. You're dropping every 3rd bobbin. Your timing's off. Your hands won't close properly. This is when kids lose fingers, when exhaustion wins and the machines take their toll. Stay awake, I tell myself, out loud, don't care who hears. Talking to yourself now, Giuseppe? Anthony calls out, going crazy like Catherine? Least I'm not going ugly like you. Weak comeback, but it's all I've got. My brain's running on fumes. He steps toward me again, but then something weird happens. Stefan steps between us. Stefan, who can barely walk. Leave him alone, Tony. Or what? You'll bleed on me? Or I'll tell everyone about that thing you did. You know, the thing. Anthony's face goes white. Whatever Stefan knows, it's bad. You wouldn't. Try me. Anthony backs off, goes back to his station. Crisis averted, for now. What thing? I ask Stefan quietly. No thing, but he doesn't know that. I almost laugh. Almost. 6:15, 45 minutes. The night shift is fully here now. Fresh workers ready to take our places. They look so clean, so rested. Were we ever that clean, that rested? Some of them are adults, real adults, not just teenagers. They get the night shift because it pays an extra 50 cents. 50 cents to work in the dark, when the accident rate doubles. When the exhaustion is so bad, people hallucinate. I see my replacement, a Polish kid, maybe 10. He's watching me work, learning the rhythm. In 15 minutes he'll take my spot and I'll finally be able to leave. If I make it 15 more minutes. You know what I want? Marie says suddenly. What? Ice cream. The randomness of it makes me actually look at her. Ice cream? Yeah, had it once, at Coney Island. My uncle took me before he died. Vanilla, cold and sweet, and she trails off, lost in the memory of one perfect moment in a life full of imperfect ones. What do you want? She asks me. I think about it. What do I want, besides the obvious, besides not being here? To see the ocean. You've never seen the ocean? Saw it from the ship when we came over, but not really. Not standing on a beach, not touching it. It's salty. Yeah? Yeah, and loud. Waves crash all the time, like machines, but better? Different. We're quiet for a moment. Two kids dreaming about ice cream and oceans while standing in hell. 6:20. The supervisor for the night shift arrives. Mr. Brennan, no relation to the kid who lost his arm this morning, just another Irish name in a city full of them. He and Harrison talk near the office, probably about Roosevelt's visit, about the Polish girl's accident, about the cost of it all. Not the human cost, the dollar cost. Always the dollar cost. 6:25. So close now, so close to leaving. Your legs are shaking, actually shaking, like when you have a fever, except you're not sick, just exhausted beyond what bodies are meant to handle. The Russian kid throws up, just leans over and empties his stomach right there on the floor. Nothing in it but bile and the bread they gave him at dinner break. His supervisor cuffs him on the head. Not hard, but hard enough. Clean it up. The kid doesn't understand English, but he understands the tone. Starts trying to clean it with his hands, his bare hands. Jesus Christ. I grab some cotton waste from my station, toss it to him, show him how to use it to soak up the mess. He looks at me like I'm an angel, like I've just saved his life. All I did was give him some garbage cotton. But when you're 6 and covered in your own vomit in a factory in a country where you don't speak the language, garbage cotton is salvation. 6:30, night shift's taking over. That's time, Kowalski shouts. Day shift out, night shift in. The relief is physical, like someone just took a boulder off your shoulders, but we don't run for the door. We can't. Our bodies won't move that fast. We shuffle. Exhausted zombies heading for the exit. Marie's beside me. We don't talk. Too tired for words. The time clock is ahead. The beautiful, terrible time clock that says we're done for today. Punch out. 6:31. 13 hours, minus breaks, minus fines, minus everything they can think of to take from us. $3.70. That's what I made today, if I'm lucky. If Harrison doesn't find more reasons to dock me. $3.70 for 13 hours of my childhood. The cold air outside hits like a baptism. Harsh, but cleansing. No cotton dust. No machine oil, Just New York in January, dirty and frozen and beautiful because it's not the factory. Stefan's limping worse than ever. You sure about not coming? I ask. Can't make it that far. Then what? Hey, Giuseppe, Anthony. Of course, he's been waiting. We got business, he says. I'm too tired for this. Too tired to fight. Too tired to run. Too tired to care. Anthony, please, not tonight. You made me look stupid in there. You don't need my help for that. Wrong thing to say. His fist connects with my stomach. I double over, gasping. But then Marie's there, and Stefan, and 2 other kids I don't even know. Touch him again and we all jump you, Marie says, matter of fact, like she's stating the weather. Anthony looks around. 5 against 1. Even he's not that stupid. This isn't over, he says. Yeah, it is, Stefan says. It's over because we're all too damn tired for this. Go home, Tony. Go home and sleep, and tomorrow we'll all pretend to hate each other again. But tonight we're just trying to survive. Anthony looks at each of us. Something in his face changes. The anger drains out, replaced by something else. Exhaustion, just like the rest of us. He walks away without another word. Thanks, I tell the others. Marie shrugs. We look out for each other when we can. They drift away. Different directions, different tenements, different hells to go home to. I start walking. Orchard Street is busy despite the hour, or because of it. Night shift workers heading to factories, day shift workers dragging themselves home. The city that never sleeps because it can't afford to. My feet know the way home. Good thing, because my brain's barely working. 4 blocks, 4 flights of stairs, $4 a week for our 1 room. Everything's 4 except the hours we work. Those are 14. I pass a newsboy, one of the evening editions. Roosevelt promises reform, he's shouting. Says child labour must end. I want to laugh, or cry, or both. Must end. Sure. When? Next year? Next decade? After how many more Timothys lose their arms? How many more Polish girls get mangled? How many more Russian kids throw up their first day? Change is coming, Roosevelt said. Maybe, but not tonight. Tonight, I'm going home to my corn husk mattress, to my family crowded in 1 room, to 5 hours of sleep before I do it all again. The tenement door is ahead. Home, such as it is. I think about you in your bed, your real bed, warm, safe, protected by laws we bled for, laws written in the blood of kids like Timothy Brennan and the Polish girl whose name I never learned. You're welcome, by the way, for the weekend, for the 8-hour day, for the childhood you got to have. We paid for it. Kids like me and Marie and Stefan and even Anthony, paid in fingers and arms and years of our lives. Paid so you could lie there in comfort and listen to stories about how bad it used to be, how bad it was today. January something, 1900, when I was 12 and worked 13 hours and made $3.70, if I was lucky. The door to my building is right there, 5 more minutes, and I'll be home, eating whatever Ma managed to make, seeing Anna and Marco falling onto our mattress and trying not to think about tomorrow, because tomorrow I'll do it again, and again, and again, until something changes, or until I break, whichever comes first. The hallway of my tenement is pitch black, no windows, no gas lamps, just the smell of too many people and not enough air. I feel my way up the stairs by memory and sound, Mrs. O'Brien's baby crying on the 2nd floor, Mr. Goldstein's cough on the 3rd, the Kowalski kids fighting on the 4th. My legs barely make it up the steps. Each one feels like climbing a mountain. 13 hours on your feet and stairs become your enemy. The door to our apartment is cracked open. Ma always leaves it open a little when I'm working, says it's so I don't have to knock and wake the little ones, but really it's because she can't sleep until she hears me come home safe. Giuseppe? It's me, Ma. The relief in her voice kills me every time. Inside, the kerosene lamp makes everything look yellow and old. Marco and Anna are already eating, if you can call it eating. Bread and soup that's mostly water with some cabbage floating in it, maybe a potato if we're lucky. How was work? Ma asks. Same question every night. Fine, I say. Same answer every night. We both know I'm lying. She saw the blood on my clothes this morning. She'll see new blood tomorrow, but we pretend. It's easier than the truth. Anna jumps up and hugs me around the waist. Joey, did you bring candy? That promise from this morning feels like a year ago. Not tonight, Piccola. Maybe tomorrow. She doesn't complain. 7 years old and she already knows not to expect things. That's what poverty does. Teaches you not to hope too hard. I sit down and Ma puts a bowl in front of me. The soup's thin but hot. After 13 hours of nothing but a piece of bread, it tastes like heaven. Papa, I ask. Working late. Extra shift at the docks. Extra shift means he got picked for night work, means an extra $1, means maybe we'll have meat this Sunday, or maybe not. Maybe the landlord will want his back rent. Maybe someone will get sick and need medicine. Maybe is all we have. Stefan's hurt, I tell Ma. His foot. Bad. She nods. I'll make a poultice. You can take it to him. His building's in 5 points. That stops her. 5 points after dark is asking for trouble, but she looks at me, sees something in my face. How bad? Real bad. She sighs, gets up, starts pulling herbs from the shelf, dried things she brought from Italy, grows on the fire escape when she can. Old country medicine. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's what we have. There was an accident today, I say. Girl got her arm caught, mangled it pretty bad. Ma crosses herself. She survive? Yeah, but she won't be working anymore. Her family? I shrug. That's the question, isn't it? What happens to families when the workers can't work? Marco looks up from his soup. When do I start working? He's 9. The question's not if, it's when. Not yet, Ma says firmly. You stay in school. But Joey works. We need the money. You stay in school, she repeats. But we all know it's temporary. Another year, maybe 2. Then Marco will be standing where I stand, bleeding where I bleed. There's a knock at the door, soft, hesitant. Ma opens it. It's the new family from down the hall, Russians. The mother's holding a baby that won't stop crying. She says something in Russian, then tries English. Please, baby sick. You have medicine? Ma doesn't hesitate, takes some of her herbs, shows the woman how to make tea with them, gives her enough for 3 days. That's half our supply, but Ma doesn't mention that. The woman tries to pay, holds out 2 pennies. No, Ma says, we help each other. The woman cries, actually cries over 2 pennies worth of herbs. After she leaves, I ask Ma, what if we need those herbs? Then someone will help us. Who? She doesn't answer because we both know. Maybe nobody. But you help anyway, because if you don't, if you stop seeing other people's pain, you become something less than human. And in a place like this, your humanity is the only thing they can't take from you. Not for lack of trying, though. Anna's tugging at my sleeve. Joey, tell us a story. I'm tired, Anna. Please? About Italy? Italy. I barely remember it. Left when I was 9, but I remember enough. The sun that actually felt warm, the smell of real food, the sound of people laughing because they were happy, not desperate. Okay, one story. I tell them about the lemon trees behind our house. How you could pick them right off the branch. How the whole air smelled like citrus. How Nonna would make lemonade so sweet your teeth hurt. It's mostly lies. We were poor there too. The lemons were sour. Nonna died before we left, but Anna and Marco don't need the truth. They need something beautiful to think about while falling asleep on corn husk mattresses in a tenement that smells like piss and desperation. Why did we leave? Marco asks. The real answer, because we were starving, because the landowners took everything, because America promised something better. For opportunity, I say instead. Marco looks around our one room, at the frost on the inside of the window, at the chamber pot in the corner, at our parents' exhausted faces. This is opportunity? It's better than what we had. Is it, though? At least in Italy we starved together as a family. Here we starve separately, in shifts. Someone's shouting in the hallway. Mr. O'Brien, drunk again, his wife pleading with him to quiet down, then a crash, then silence. Tomorrow, Mrs. O'Brien will have a black eye. She'll say she walked into a door. We'll all pretend to believe her. Time for bed, Ma says. Marco and Anna curl up on their part of the mattress. I'll join them soon, but first I need to take the poultice to Stefan. Be careful, Ma says, handing me the wrapped herbs. Always am. Another lie we both pretend to believe. Outside, the temperature's dropped even more. My thin jacket is useless. The walk to 5 Points is 20 minutes in good weather. Tonight it'll take 30, maybe 40. The streets are different at night, darker, meaner. The day workers are inside. The night people are out. Drunks, thieves, women selling themselves for food money, kids younger than me running in packs, picking pockets. This is the other economy, the one that runs on desperation and darkness. I keep my head down, walk fast, don't make eye contact, don't look like a target, don't look like anything. 5 Points is worse than our neighbourhood. If our tenement is hell, 5 Points is hell's basement. The buildings lean against each other like drunks. The streets are more sewage than cobblestone. The smell is indescribable. Stefan's building doesn't have a door, just an opening where a door should be. I climb to the 3rd floor, stepping over people sleeping in the hallway, or maybe not sleeping, hard to tell, better not to know. Stefan's family has 2 rooms, luxury by 5 Point standards. His mother answers, recognizes me from the mill. Joey, what are you doing here? Brought something for Stefan's foot. She lets me in. Stefan's on a mattress that makes ours look fancy. His foot is swollen to twice its size. The colour is wrong, purple and green and yellow. Jesus, Stefan. Yeah, it's not great. I unwrap the poultice, show his mother how to apply it. It won't cure him, might not even help, but it's something. Thanks, Stefan says. You're Ma's good people. She tries. His little brothers are watching from the corner, 3 of them. All under 8, all future mill workers. You should get that looked at by a real doctor, I tell him. He laughs, actually laughs. Sure, I'll just use all that money I don't have. If it goes bad, I know what happens if it goes bad. We both do. Infection, fever, death, or if you're lucky, amputation. One-legged Stefan. Try getting work then. Roosevelt says things are going to change, I offer. Roosevelt says a lot of things. You don't believe him? Stefan shrugs. I believe he means it. But meaning it and doing it, different things. You know how many kids work in New York? Thousands. Tens of thousands. You can't just stop that. The whole city would collapse. He's right. We're the foundation everything else is built on. Child labour is the engine of American industry. Stop the engine, the whole machine breaks down. Maybe that's what needs to happen, I say. Maybe it all needs to break. And then what? We all starve? We're already starving. No, we're almost starving. There's a difference. His mother brings over some bread, hard as rocks, but she's offering it to me. Guest rules, even in 5 points, especially in 5 points, you share what you have. I take a small piece, pretend to eat it, palm it for later, for Anna. You better go, Stefan says. Gets worse here after 9. It's already worse. I can hear fighting somewhere, breaking glass, a woman screaming. See you tomorrow, I say. If I can walk, you'll walk. Yeah? Yeah, you're too stupid to stay down. He smiles. Get out of here, Giuseppe. The walk home is faster, partly because I know Stefan's family is a little better off with the poultice, partly because 5 points at night makes you walk fast, or not at all. But mostly because I'm so tired, I'm basically sleepwalking, my body just carrying me home on autopilot. I pass a church. Presbyterian, I think. There's light inside, warmth. For a second, I think about going in, just sitting in a warm place for 5 minutes. But Catholics don't go into Protestant churches, not if they want to avoid trouble, and we've all got enough trouble already. Back on Orchard Street, things are quieter. Most people are asleep, getting ready for tomorrow's shift, the endless cycle. Our building is dark except for one window, 3rd floor. Mrs. Goldstein is up with her sick baby, the one with the cough that sounds wet. That baby's not going to make it. We all know it. She probably knows it. But she keeps trying, singing to it, rocking it, fighting death with lullabies. Up the stairs, 4th floor, our door. Inside, everyone's asleep. Ma left the lamp burning low for me. I blow it out. Don't need it. Know every inch of this room by feel. I take off my boots. My socks are more holes than fabric. My feet are white and wrinkled, like I've been in water all day, except it's sweat. 13 hours of sweat. The corn husk mattress crackles as I lie down. Marco shifts in his sleep, stealing the thin blanket. Anna murmurs something about lemons. I stare at the ceiling. Can't see it in the dark, but I know every crack, every water stain, every place where the plaster is falling off. In 5 hours, the whistle will blow. In 5 hours, I'll get up and do it again. In 5 hours, another day of my childhood will be fed to the machines. But right now, for these 5 hours, I'm just a 12-year-old boy lying between his siblings, in a room that's too small, in a building that's falling apart, in a city that doesn't care if he lives or dies. This is the American dream in 1900. This is what built the richest country in the world. This is what progress looks like when you're on the bottom. And tomorrow we'll do it again, because we don't have a choice, because our families need to eat, because the machines are hungry and we're the only food they accept. But someday it'll be different. Has to be, Roosevelt promised. The Polish girl's mangled arm demands it. Timothy Brennan's missing hand insists on it. All of us, all these children of the mills, we're writing the future in our blood and sweat and exhaustion. Someday they'll read what we wrote. Someday they'll understand what it cost. Someday, but not tonight. Tonight, I'm just tired. So tired I can't even finish the thought. The darkness takes me, deep and dreamless, and somewhere in the distance, barely audible through the thin walls and dying night, a church bell chimes midnight. 5 hours until the whistle. 5 hours until tomorrow. 5 hours of peace. The whistle. That goddamn whistle. 5 o'clock. Again. Your eyes don't want to open. Your body doesn't want to move. Everything hurts in ways you didn't know things could hurt. Your hands are claws that won't unbend. Your feet feel like someone beat them with hammers. Your back. You're 12 years old and your back feels like an old man's. Marco's foot is in your ribs. Anna's hair is in your mouth. The corn husks beneath you have compressed into basically nothing. You're sleeping on boards with some agricultural garbage between you and splinters. Giuseppe, Ma's voice, soft, tired. She's been up for an hour already, trying to make something from nothing for breakfast. You sit up, the room is freezing, your breath clouds in the lamplight. January doesn't care that you're poor, it just keeps being January. Same clothes as yesterday. They're stiff with dried sweat and cotton dust. They smell like the mill, like machine oil and desperation. But they're the only work clothes you have, so on they go. Your hands, Jesus, your hands. They're worse than yesterday. The cuts have scabbed over, but the scabs are cracking. Fresh blood seeping through, and they're so stiff, like someone replaced your fingers with wood. You flex them, work them, try to get some movement back. You're going to need these hands for another 13 hours. Anna's awake, watching you. Does it hurt? She asks. What? Everything. Smart kid. Too smart. No, you lie. You get used to it. She looks at your bloody hands, your bent posture, the way you wince putting on your boots. I don't want to get used to it. Neither did you. Neither did any of us. But want and get are different words in different languages. Ma hands you the same breakfast, brick-hard bread, fake coffee, but today there's something else, a tiny piece of cheese. Ma, we can't afford. Eat, you eat. The cheese tastes like heaven, like something from the world before the mill, the world where food had flavour beyond survival. Papa's at the table. He made it home sometime in the night. He looks dead, not dying, dead, like someone propped up a corpse and put work clothes on it. How was the docks, you ask? He doesn't answer, just stares at his coffee. His hands are shaking, not from cold, from exhaustion so deep it's rewired his nervous system. This is what we're all heading toward, this zombie existence, working until we're not even human anymore, just meat that moves. The walk to the mill is the same but different. Same streets, same faces, same destination. But Stefan's not there. His foot finally won. Marie's walking slower than yesterday. That Polish girl who mangled her arm. Her mother's walking alone. Tommy Flanagan falls into step beside me. You hear, he says. Hear what? They're talking strike. They're always talking strike. No, for real this time. The adults, they had a meeting. When? Last night, after shift, down at Donnelly's. Donnelly's is a bar where the Irish workers go. If they're meeting there, they're serious. What are they asking for? 10-hour days, safety equipment, compensation for injuries. I want to laugh. Might as well ask for the moon. The company will never... I know, but they're going to do it anyway. When? Don't know. Soon. A strike. It'll never work. The company will bring in scabs, probably kids, even younger than us, or immigrants fresh off the boat who don't know better. And the strikers, they'll get fired, blacklisted. Their families will starve, but still. The idea of it, of everyone just stopping, of saying no more, of making the machines go silent, it's beautiful and terrifying. At the mill, there's a crowd outside. Not usual. Something's happening. Harrison's there with a piece of paper. New rules, he shouts. By order of management, he reads, due to recent disruptions and outside agitation, the following policies are now in effect. 1. Any worker discussing labour organisation will be immediately terminated. 2. Any worker participating in work stoppage will be terminated and prosecuted. 3. Quotas are increased by 10% to offset recent losses. The crowd murmurs, angry but quiet, angry but scared. Furthermore, Harrison continues, we've been made aware of certain individuals spreading seditious ideas. These individuals are no longer welcome here. He reads a list of names, Irish names mostly. Union organisers, troublemakers, people who dared to say children shouldn't work 14 hours. That's all. Get to work. We file in, quieter than usual. The message is clear, shut up and work or starve. Inside, there's a new sign by the time clock. A grateful worker is a happy worker. Marie sees it and spits, actually spits on the floor. Grateful for what, she says. The privilege of dying slowly? Careful, I tell her. They're watching, and they are. More supervisors than usual, walking the floors, listening, waiting for someone to say the wrong thing. You punch in. 5:31 again. Always 5:31. That penny docked. Always that penny. At your station, the bobbins are waiting. The cotton is waiting. The machines are waiting. Always hungry. Always feeding. But something's different. The Polish girl's station where she got mangled yesterday. There's a new girl there, maybe 8, definitely not legal age. She's terrified. You can see it in how she holds herself, how she flinches every time the machine makes a noise. That's the thing about this place. It doesn't just hurt you physically, it breaks something inside. That part that believes the world makes sense, that adults protect children, that work has dignity. The morning crawls by. Everyone's on edge, waiting for something. The strike maybe, or another accident, or Roosevelt to walk through the door again, but nothing happens. Just work, just the endless rhythm of the machines. Around 7, Anthony approaches, but not aggressive, different. "Hey," he says, "what do you want?" "Nothing, just my brother. He joined up." "Military?" "Yeah, going to the Philippines." "Sorry," he shrugs. "Least he's out of here." And that's the truth. War might be better than this. At least in war, you might die a hero. Here, you just die tired. "Why are you telling me?" I ask. "Don't know. Figured we're all stuck here together. Might as well not make it worse." Is this Anthony apologizing in his own broken way? "Yeah," I say. "Okay." He nods and goes back to his station. We're not friends, never will be, but we're not enemies either. We're just two kids trying to survive the same machine. 8 o'clock. Marie collapses. Not almost. Actually collapses. Hits the floor hard. Everything stops. Even Kowalski hesitates. She's conscious but can't get up. The blood loss from yesterday, the exhaustion, the lack of food, it all caught up. 2 women help her to her feet. She's crying. Not from pain. From shame. From the knowledge that she can't work means she might get fired. "I'm okay," she keeps saying. "I'm okay." But she's not. We all see it. Kowalski makes a decision that surprises everyone. Take her to the break room, 15 minutes, then back to work. Mercy from Kowalski? No. Practicality. Training a new worker costs time. Cheaper to let Marie rest 15 minutes than replace her. But still, 15 minutes of humanity in 13 hours of hell. I catch her eye as they help her away. Try to tell her without words that it's okay, that nobody thinks less of her, that we all break eventually. 9 o'clock. The new girl at the Polish girls' station gets her hair caught. Not bad, just a small tangle, but she panics, starts pulling, making it worse. Without thinking, I abandon my station, rush over, grab her hand before she can pull harder. "Stop," I tell her. "Stop." She doesn't understand English, but she understands my tone. Freezes. I work her hair free carefully. Takes maybe 30 seconds. But those are 30 seconds I'm not at my station. "Back to work, Giuseppe." That's 2 pennies, maybe 3, but the girl still has her scalp, so worth it. She looks at me with huge eyes, says something in Polish. I don't understand the words, but I understand the meaning. Thank you for seeing me as human. The morning drags. Every minute an hour, every hour a year. The cotton dust is thick, the heat is building, the noise is constant. This is eternity, this is hell, this is progress. 10 o'clock, break time. Marie's back at her station, pale but standing. I slip her my bread from this morning, the piece I saved. "Eat, Joey, eat." She eats, small bites, making it last. I'm not going to make it, she says quietly. Yes, you are. No, I mean it. I can feel it. Something's wrong inside. You're just tired. It's more than that. She's probably right. 13-year-old girls shouldn't lose that much blood and keep working, shouldn't stand for 13 hours on no food, shouldn't breathe cotton dust until their lungs quit. But what choice does she have? What choice do any of us have? After work, go to the charity hospital, I tell her. With what money? It's charity. They'll want something. They always do. She's right about that too. Nothing's free. Not even charity. The whistle blows. Back to work. But I'm thinking now about Marie, about Stefan with his rotting foot, about the Polish girl with her mangled arm, about all of us slowly dying for $3 a week. Roosevelt said change was coming, but when? After Marie dies? After Stefan loses his foot? After how many more kids get fed to these machines? The anger builds, not hot anger, cold anger, the kind that plans, the kind that waits, the kind that builds until it can't be contained. Maybe that's what the adults feel. Maybe that's why they're planning a strike. Maybe they've finally had enough. Maybe we all have. 11 o'clock, someone singing, not Marie, one of the older women, Irish song, slow and sad. Others join in quietly under the machine noise. The supervisors don't stop it. Maybe they don't hear it. Maybe they don't care. But we hear it. All of us kids, and for a minute, just a minute, we're not alone. We're not just individual cogs in the machine. We're people, together, suffering together, but together. The song ends, the machines continue, but something lingers, some feeling that maybe, just maybe we're stronger than they think. The noon whistle blows. 20 minutes to remember we're human. Outside, the cold feels good, clean, real. Groups gather, whispered conversations, the word spreads. Tomorrow. The strike is tomorrow. You going to join? Tommy asks me. I'm 12. Nobody cares what I do. They care if you work or don't work. He's right. Every hand counts, even 12-year-old hands. My family needs the money, I say. All our families need the money. That's why we're here. And if we strike and get fired, then what? Then maybe things change. Or maybe we starve. We're already starving, Joey, just slowly. He walks away, leaves me with that thought. The afternoon shift starts, same as always, but there's electricity in the air. Everyone knows about tomorrow. Everyone's making the same calculation. Work and live poorly, or strike and maybe die. Some choice. But maybe that's the point. Maybe when all your choices are bad, you pick the one that at least fights back. The machines roar on, fed by our exhaustion, our blood, our childhood. But tomorrow? Tomorrow might be different. Tomorrow the machines might go hungry. Tomorrow we might matter. 1 o'clock back at the machines, but nobody's really working. Everyone's going through the motions, but our minds are on tomorrow. The strike. Marie's getting worse. I can see it in how she moves. Like she's underwater. Like every motion takes enormous effort. You should go home, I tell her. And eat what? Pay rent with what? Always the same answer, always the same trap. The new Polish girl, the one whose hair I freed, she keeps looking at me, finally works up courage to approach, hands me something wrapped in cloth. It's bread, with actual butter on it. I try to give it back. She pushes it toward me, points at herself, then at her hair, then at me. Thank you, she's saying. Thank you for being human. I split it with Marie. We eat it fast before anyone sees, before anyone can take it away. The butter is like a memory of better times, times that maybe never existed, but we imagine they did. My mother used to make butter, Marie says, back in Ireland, before the landlords took our cow. What happened? What always happens? We left or we died. So we left. And came here. Yeah. Traded one kind of dying for another. 2 o'clock, Harrison's making rounds. He looks nervous. He knows about tomorrow. They all know. He stops at each station longer than usual. Looking for what? Signs of rebellion? Union pamphlets? Kids who might cause trouble? He stops at mine. Giuseppe. Sir. You've been here, 2 years? Yes, sir. Good worker. Steady. Reliable. Where's this going? The company values workers like you. Workers who understand their place. Who don't cause trouble. Sir? Tomorrow. We expect you here. On time, working. Yes, sir. Good, because workers who don't show up tomorrow, they don't show up ever again. Understand? Yes, sir. He moves on. The threat clear. Work tomorrow or never work again. Not just here, anywhere. They have lists, blacklists. Your name goes on. You never work in New York again. But what kind of life is this anyway? What are we protecting by working? The right to slowly die in a factory instead of quickly die in the street? 2:30. Word spreads that Stefan's here. He made it in. I see him across the floor. He's working, but barely, dragging his foot, face grey with pain. But he's here because his family needs him here. That's the thing about strikes. Easy to talk about when you're single, when it's just you. But when you've got 3 little brothers, when your mother's counting on your $3, how do you choose? 3 o'clock. A man walks onto the floor. Not a supervisor, not a worker. He's wearing a suit, carrying papers. He goes to the main office. 5 minutes later, Harrison comes out with him. They're pointing at different workers, making notes. Who's that? I ask Tommy. Pinkerton, he whispers. Strike breaker. Pinkertons, private police, the ones companies hire to break unions, break strikes, break heads if necessary. The man walks through, memorizing faces. He stops at certain workers, the ones who were at Donnelly's last night probably, the organizers. This is intimidation, letting everyone know they're watching. They know who you are, where you live, where your kids go to school. The message is clear. Strike and we'll destroy you. 3:30. Marie faints again. This time she doesn't get back up. She's breathing, but she won't respond. Her skin is white as paper. There's blood on her skirt again, more than yesterday. Get her out of here, Harrison shouts, but nobody moves. We all just stand there, looking at Marie on the floor, 13 years old, dying for $4 a week. I said, get her out. Finally, 2 women move. They pick Marie up. She's so light, like a bird, like there's nothing left of her but will, and now that's gone too. They carry her toward the door. Where are you taking her? I call out. Charity hospital, one says. I'm coming with. No, you're not, Harrison cuts in. You leave, you're fired. I look at Marie being carried out. Look at Harrison. Look at my station. $3.70. That's what my family needs. That's what keeps us from the street. I go back to my station. I'm a coward. We all are. Watching a 13-year-old girl get carried away, probably to die, and we just keep working. The machines don't care about Marie. The cotton doesn't care. America doesn't care. 4 o'clock, 3 more hours, but I can't do it. Can't stand here and pretend everything's normal. Marie's dying. Stefan can barely walk. That Polish girl's arm is probably infected by now. And tomorrow? Tomorrow, we're supposed to just show up and do it again? No. The word just appears in my head. Small at first, then bigger. No. Joey, it's the new Polish girl. She's pointing at her machine. Something's wrong with it, making a grinding noise. I should tell her to notify the supervisor. That's the rule. But I remember what happened to the last kid who had a machine break. Instead, I go over, look at it. There's a gear out of alignment. Easy fix, if you know how. I fix it. Takes 2 minutes. She smiles. First time I've seen her smile. She looks like an actual child when she smiles, not a factory worker, just a little girl who fixed a problem. That's when it hits me. We're all just children, playing at being adults because the real adults failed us. Our parents, too broken by their own struggles to protect us. The government, too corrupt to care. The companies, too greedy to stop. We're children raising ourselves in the worst possible classroom. 4:30. The Pinkerton man is back, this time with two others. They position themselves around the floor, watching, writing in notebooks, making sure everyone sees them. Tommy leans over. They're scared. Of what? Us? Of tomorrow. Of what happens when the machines stop. They'll just hire others. Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe there's more of us than them. Maybe we matter more than they want to admit. 5 o'clock. 2 hours left. The sun's going down outside. Another day almost done. Another day of childhood spent. I think about Anna. 2 more years and she'll be here, standing where I stand, unless something changes. That's what this is really about. Not us. We're already lost, already fed to the machines, but the ones coming after us. Anna, Marco, Stefan's little brothers, the Polish girl's siblings she probably has. Maybe we can save them. Maybe that's worth the risk. 5:30. Harrison calls a meeting, right there on the floor. Listen up, management wants me to be clear. Anyone who doesn't show up tomorrow is terminated. Anyone who interferes with workers who do show up is arrested. Anyone who damages company property is prosecuted. What about our damages? Someone shouts from the back. Who said that? Silence. I asked who said that. More silence. But we're all thinking it. What about our damages, our stolen childhoods, our broken bodies, our dead friends? Get back to work. We do, but something's changed. The fear is still there, but there's something else too. Anger, real anger, the kind that builds and builds until it explodes. 6 o'clock, 1 hour, word comes from outside. Marie made it to the hospital. She's alive, for now. That's all we get. Alive for now. Better than dead, I guess. Stefan limps by. His foot is worse. Definitely infected now. He needs a doctor, real medicine, but he'll be here tomorrow if there's work, or standing on the picket line if there's a strike. Either way, that foot's going to kill him eventually. You okay? I ask. Do I look okay? You look like death. Feel worse. The poultice didn't help? It helped, just not enough. Some things are beyond herbs, you know. Yeah, I know, some things are beyond everything except money, and we don't have that. 6:15, the whistle will blow soon, another day done, and tomorrow everything changes, or nothing does. The Pinkerton men are still watching, still writing. They know who's going to strike. They probably know who's going to scab. They know everything except what it feels like to be 12 years old and exhausted and angry and scared all at once. Joey, it's Anthony. What? Tomorrow. You striking? Don't know. Me neither. We stand there, 2 kids who fought yesterday, united today by indecision. My old man says striking is stupid, he says. Says we should be grateful for work. Yeah, but he doesn't work here. Doesn't see what we see. What do we see? He gestures at the floor, at the bloodstains, at the kids who look like old people, at the machines that never stop eating. This. 6:30. The whistle blows. Day shift out, night shift in. But nobody rushes for the door. We all walk slowly, looking at each other, knowing that tomorrow some of us won't be back, either because we're striking or because we're scabs. Either way, friendships will end, bonds will break. Outside, the cold air hits different tonight, feels like change, feels like something ending. Groups form on the street, quiet conversations, final decisions being made. Tommy approaches. You in? I don't know. It's simple. Either you stand with us or against us. It's not simple. I've got family. We all do. Then you know why it's not simple. He looks at me, really looks at me. You're right. It's not simple, but sometimes the complicated choice is still the right choice. He walks away, joins a group of older workers, Irish mostly, the ones with the most to lose and the least left to lose it. I start walking home, alone for once. No Stefan, no Marie, just me and my thoughts and the weight of tomorrow. The streets are busy, night workers heading in, day workers heading home. The eternal exchange. I pass the newsboy. Roosevelt condemns child labour, he's shouting. Demands congressional action, congressional action. That's rich. By the time Congress acts, I'll be an old man if I live that long. At my building, I stop. Look up at our window. The lamp is lit. Ma's waiting, always waiting. Inside, climbing the stairs, I make my decision. Not for me, not even for my family, for Anna. For every Anna who deserves better than 13 hours in a textile mill. I'm striking tomorrow. Inside our apartment, the scene is the same as always. Ma cooking, Papa exhausted. Marco and Anna doing whatever children do when they still get to be children. How was work? Ma asks. Marie's in the hospital. Ma stops stirring. What happened? She collapsed, lost too much blood. Ma crosses herself, whispers a prayer. There's going to be a strike, I say. Tomorrow. Papa looks up. First time he's really looked at me in days. You're not joining, he says. Papa, you're not joining. We need the money. We need things to change. Change doesn't feed your sister. Anna's watching us, taking it all in, learning that sometimes adults disagree, sometimes there's no good answer. If I don't strike, I say slowly, Anna will be in that mill in 2 years, maybe less. And if you do strike, she'll be in the poorhouse next week. He's right. They're both right. That's the trap. Every choice leads to suffering, just different kinds. We eat dinner in silence. The soup's thinner than usual, the bread's harder, but it's food, and we're together, and tomorrow that might not be true. After dinner, I sit with Anna and Marco, tell them stories about Italy, about lemon trees and warm sun and grandmothers who lived past 40. Will we ever go back? Anna asks. No. Will things get better here? I want to lie. Want to tell her yes, absolutely. America is the land of opportunity and dreams come true. I don't know, I say instead. Maybe, if we fight for it. Fighting is bad, Marco says. Sometimes, but sometimes not fighting is worse. They don't understand. They're too young, but someday they will. Someday they'll have their own impossible choices to make. Later, lying on our corn husk mattress, I stare at the ceiling. Tomorrow, I'm going to stand outside that mill and refuse to work. Tomorrow, I'm going to risk everything for the possibility of something better. Am I brave or stupid? Maybe both. Maybe they're the same thing when you're 12 and angry and tired of watching your friends die. The church bells chime midnight. In 5 hours, the whistle will blow, but I won't answer it. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow, the machines will be hungry, and I won't feed them. Tomorrow, I'll stand with Tommy and Stefan and all the others who've had enough. Tomorrow, we'll find out if we matter. And if we don't, if they break us, if we all end up blacklisted and starving, then at least we tried. At least we said no. At least we were human for one day instead of machines. That's got to count for something. The darkness is soft now, gentle, not like the harsh dark of morning. This is the darkness of rest, of peace, of finally stopping. I close my eyes. Tomorrow will come soon enough. Tomorrow with its choices and consequences and possibilities. But tonight I'm just a 12-year-old boy, tired, scared, hopeful. Tonight I sleep, and in your bed, in your time, you sleep too, safe, warm, protected by laws written in the blood of children like me. You're welcome. Sweet dreams.